Welcome everyone. We'll be starting in just a moment. If you'd like to make your way up towards the podium here, that would be great. Come on forward. I might bite. I've had half a glass. Okay, lovely. Well, welcome everyone to MIFA's Out from the Mist Awards night. My name's Annie Peterson and I'm the manager of Wesley Mission Queensland's Wesley Arts Service. It's a creative arts service which is moving across, serving people in the north and south of Brisbane, and also our beautiful gallery just down the road, 136 Brunswick Street. If you're in the neighbourhood, pop down just a little bit further down the road any old time. Tonight's event is being live streamed, I think from over there. Is that correct? Yes, hello. So welcome. Welcome all the photographers, videographers, musicians and supporters here tonight, watching online from around the world. For you here in person, this exhibition has trigger warnings. We also have a dedicated space downstairs for those who might need a quiet space during the evening, so just let one of us know. For those online, I'd like to advise them that we will be showcasing entries as you watch the live stream, so entries may contain triggering and sensitive material. Suicide and self-harm are some of the topics exhibited at this event, so audience discretion is advised. Now the toilets, I'm the air hostess bit now, the toilets are located around here. There's also some downstairs and the emergency exits are out the front door. If we do have any entrants attending in person tonight, we'd love to meet you. So please make yourself known to one of the judges or to Michael and Elise, and they would love to, there's Elise over here, like to speak to you about your work and your experience with the competition. That would just be awesome. Also, thank you to Michelle, Peter and David, who are some of the members of the band Lazy Hyena, who have been entertaining us this evening. Let's give them a clap. That was beautiful. Thank you. Okay. Now, for those who are joining us from overseas, in Australia, prior to a meeting or event, an acknowledgement of country is delivered. A welcome to country is only performed by a local First Nations person of the land where the event's being held. An acknowledgement of country is a way of showing awareness of and respect for the traditional custodians of the land upon which a meeting or event is to take place. I would like to respectfully acknowledge the Turrbal, Jagera and Yagara people, traditional owners of the land on which this event is taking place, and elders both past and present. I also recognise those whose ongoing effort to protect and promote Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander cultures will leave a lasting legacy for future elders and leaders, and that sovereignty was never ceded. We also acknowledge and value the expertise of people, family and carers with a living and lived experience of mental health conditions. Today is Mental Health Day, World Mental Health Day in fact. We are also celebrating Queensland Mental Health Week, and Out from the Mist is one of 387 Mental Health Week events across Queensland, which is really exciting. It's great to see so many entrants from Queensland supporting and sharing their work, as well as all of you here in attendance. Thank you. Out from the Mist is truly an international competition. In 2023, submissions were received from America, Canada, the UK, Philippines, Belgium, Finland, France, Germany, Greece, India, Ireland, Italy, Netherlands, Norway, Spain, and of course, Australia. This competition aspires to capture the breadth of diversity from experiences of pain, caring and empathy for loved ones, as well as providing hope. We want to celebrate and highlight the power of storytelling through photography, short movies and music. Pardon me. I'm joined by a few of the judges from the 2023 competition. In the room tonight are Chris Anderson, over there, no, yes, and Steve Parrish, who were on the photography panel. Those unable to be with us tonight are Laura Waters and Luke Eve, short film judges. Katie Kay, photography, and my fellow music judges, Nadea and Breeza. To begin the formal part of the ceremony, I'd like to welcome the Queensland Mental Health Commissioner, Ivan Vukovic. Thank you, yes, and the CEO for Mental Illness Fellowship of Australia, Mr. Tony Stevenson, to the microphone. Ivan was appointed Commissioner from July 2017 and has substantial policy, academic and patient-centred experience, having worked in the mental health system for over 20 years. Please make him welcome again, please.
Thank you. I wish it was 20, but it's probably 31 or something. But anyway, I wish it was 20. Thank you, and I'm just trying to fix this up so you can hear me. Can I also start by acknowledging the traditional owners of the lands that we meet and pay my respect to elders past, present and emerging. I'd also like to take this opportunity to particularly thank Mr. Tony Stevenson and also the MIFA board and the chair, Claire, who's here. Thank you very much for taking the initiative with this particular exhibition. Michael Lockwood, who's also the creative director. I know the councillor, Vicky Haywood, was here earlier, but unfortunately had to go. And also the judges, all the judges who spent a lot of time in terms of making some decisions. And having looked around, it would have been a tough gig to actually decide on some of the winners. But I think, as I was going to say at the end of my speech, I think they're all winners. In fact, I was impressed with everything that's been on display. This is the 5th year, I think, Tony, of sort of Out of the Mist. And to me, it's an opportunity, and I've got some notes to talk about the importance of art in mental health. And all of the arts, performing arts, visual arts, etc., and the way that they impact on people's mental health in terms of both positive outcomes, recovery, social connection, you know, expressing your own feelings on canvas or on various other forms of arts. But rather than going through my speech, I thought, having sort of discussed with people, having a look at some of these things, what brought back to me today was my own experience with working in the mental health system some years ago. And as you can tell by my hairstyle, I've been around for a while. One of my very first field placements as a social worker was at the Wolston Park Hospital, when we used to have psychiatric institutions stand alone in Queensland and Australia, where we used to drive people down the river and drop them off at a jelly at Wacol. That's what we did some years ago. As a young social worker starting at Wolston Park, I was fortunate to come across an occupational therapist who left an impression on me to this very day. And looking at some of this, you know, the pictures and a whole range of things that I've seen and, you know, been inspired by, she came to mind and the work that she did. So she asked me if I would help her to do some work as a social work student with men, and I remember the ward even, Anderson A at Wolston Park, which was men that had both intellectual, physical, cognitive and severe mental health problems. Men that were going to be there for the rest of their lives. They weren't leaving Wolston Park Hospital. But what she did and asked me to help her with, there was a unused ward just behind Anderson A. It was an older ward. And so what she asked me to help her do was to set up an opportunity to have a bit of a group interaction amongst these Anderson A men, as we used to call them at the time. So what she did was, she organised at the time, yes, we used to have record players, and she organised a record player and put about 10 chairs in a circle, organised some cheese and crackers, but also some grape juice, which wasn't wine, that those 10 men could participate in. We came to Anderson A, and there was, 30, 40, 50 people in that ward, and we could only take about 10. And you could see the looks in these people's faces, wondering whether it was going to be me this week to go to this group session. And what the group session was about was this. These men sat in a circle with chairs, enjoyed crackers and cheese, had a plastic cup with a bit of grape juice, and this OT, to the music that I was asked to play on the record player, she took each one of them by the hand and waltzed with them for about 2 or 3 minutes each. The impact, even music and the arts and what she did on those men was incredible. That was their only social connection. That was their only human touch and interaction that they had. And that, to me, left such an impression about the importance of the arts, whether it's music, whether it's photography, whether it's visual arts, performing arts, etc. The importance of arts in mental health, I think, sort of stuck with me from that first day that I did my placement at Wolston Park Hospital, and has been around ever since. And certainly as the Commissioner, I have pushed very strongly that we've got to think more than just pharmacological prescribing and look at, social prescribing. How can we help people interact with a whole range of things, such as the arts, to be able to, both, as I said in my intro, establish social connections, feel good about themselves, but also to be able to share their emotions, but also begin their journey of recovery. And I think that's the important bit around this particular exhibition, and there's others, but I think it's important to remember just the importance of the arts in the whole mental health field. And I'll finish off by this. I was really heartened to hear that the World Health Organization is now doing some really in-depth work around the link between psychiatry and medicine and the arts in terms of producing better outcomes for people who are living with mental health problems, but also severe mental illness. In concluding, can I thank all of the participants, all of the exhibitors, etc. Phenomenal art and phenomenal photography and music and short videos. And can I say, as I said earlier, you are all winners, and I want to thank you for what you do. And also, please remember that you are the beacons of awareness that we need in our community, that people can live successful lives with mental illness. Thank you.
Thank you, Ivan. Tony commenced as National CEO of MIFA in December 2016. He advocates for the needs of people living with severe and complex mental health conditions and their families and friends. Please make him welcome.
Yeah, thank you very much, Annie, and welcome everyone. And I'd like to join in paying my respects to the elders of the Yagara and Turrbal country on which we meet tonight. So welcome everyone who's been able to make it to this awards ceremony, and welcome to everyone who is watching this from their homes throughout Australia and across the globe. This is a day that we can all share together. It is World Mental Health Day. And we have a wonderful community of people right around the world who are joining together to share their stories with each other and to share their very deep and personal stories with all of us. So I want to say thank you very much for sharing all of those deep emotions with us. It will make a difference. I'm just struck by, firstly, just the art itself. I just cannot imagine how you have created such amazing art through the genres of photography and music and short film. I just don't know how the judges have been able to find people who they've awarded prizes to, because every single piece of art that's exhibited here, as well as every other piece that's been entered in this competition, is just amazing. And it just helps us to realise that how important it is to create a space where we can focus on the dark side the emptiness, the loneliness, the despair, because that's important as well. And just to reflect on some of the art. Edwin David Priet from the Philippines, in his photograph, talks about a need to crave isolation, to hide himself in complete darkness. And while he yearns for light, he also fears it may show others how I see myself, how he sees himself. Just to be able to share in that emotion, I think, is really inspirational for all of us. And Troy Lum, Mental Health is No Joke, talks about the vulnerability that he experiences on the inside and the despair and how they intermingle, which brings together the painful reality faced by those grappling with inner demons. It's really important that we have a space that enables people to express those feelings, because sometimes we tend to say, well, it's okay, but maybe it's not. And in those moments, it's important to see that and to have that brought to our attention. But to see the hope that others have brought as well through their art. Magdalene Marx talks about pleading with the stars to guide my way, to kindle my spirit. And Amanda Luke from Adelaide talking about looking at the heavens and how that sets her free. I can't go without just mentioning Jennifer Waltman, Contemplating an Exit. And she talks about all of the people that have been locked up, those isolated souls that endured mistreatment and trauma whilst kept in those psychiatric institutions against their will. And that's why we're here tonight, because we can't afford to have those experiences forced upon people. We need services and support. We need governments right around the world to see a different pathway for people. And I'd just like to finish by just sharing a personal reflection from Anise Ozino from Carlow from Ireland. And I'm pretty sure I've been there and drove through that town, which is nice. She talks about her experience as a mother, and I'll just reflect on that as my experience as a father. And she says, as a mother of a child who self-harms and has no will to live, I feel stuck in a mental state where I feel trapped. I feel like I'm in a womb and she's in a big scary world, and I can't find a way to break through this membrane, just to reach my child's heart and heal it and show how much she's loved and how much love and beauty is in her own heart that she can give to the world. It's amazing that we've got people who can share those thoughts and those feelings and emotions with us. So congratulations to everyone. I want to congratulate Michael Lockwood, the creative director, who has been the backbone of this exhibition now in its 5th year, and to Elise Elphick, who's been the person who's really brought it together. So thank you, everyone, and please enjoy the exhibition. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Tony. Beautiful words. So now I'd like to welcome Chris Anderson from Images by Anderson to the microphone. As well as joining the Out from the Mist judging panel for 2 years, Chris was also an entrant in the early years, so he's been on both sides. During the 2023 competition, questions of AI were raised. Out from the Mist will address AI entry rules and preparations for the 2024 competition. Michael Lockwood, Creative Director of Out from the Mist, has asked Chris to speak to how he sees AI is affecting the arts. Please make him Michael.
Thank you. Hey, everyone. I've got palm cards. I haven't used these since like grade 8, so this is like going back in time. So you know who I am. I guess as a photographer, I'm a commercial photographer, and my work's in the performing arts, which is super fun. It's excellent. And it's my second year as a judge from Out from the Mist. It's such an honor to be able to do this as well. So Elise, Michael, thank you for letting me be involved again. If you're one of the entrants, congratulations for entering. Like the whole process of putting work together, having the vulnerability to show it to people. There's some nods going on, so you know it's a big deal. If you're one of the entrants, give yourself a pat on the back. If you're the family member of an entrant, give them a hug or a high five, because they have totally earned it. It's a big deal to enter, so congratulations. Now I'm talking about AI and the impact on the arts, and I'm specifically talking about generative AI. So. Many of you will have encountered this. Who's used ChatGPT? Hands up. Or image programs like Midjourney? Couple? Okay, cool. Generative AI kind of works like this. As someone using the tool, you give it some information like a prompt or an instruction. It goes away and it generates a piece of work that is influenced by the other work that exists out in the world. So that could be text or images or music or vocals. It could be video. The process as a user, most of the time you use an English prompt, so you write out a sentence. There are other tools that are super cool starting to appear, but you write a prompt, you get it to generate something, you look at the outcome and go, oh, I want to change it, you redo your prompt and you repeat until you get closer to the thing that you want. These AI systems, they're trained on vast data sets of images and text that exist sometimes out on the internet, sometimes in curated collections, and that's how they have learned keywords and how they go together in order to generate these things for you. And it's really complex. It's not as simple as creating an image and it's like cut and pasted bits of other images to put them together. It's a lot more nuanced than that, and it's fast. So I'll sit down at Midjourney and ask it to do something, and 30 seconds later, it's given me some art. And 18 months ago, that art would have been really primitive, and you'd look at it and you'd go, yeah, a computer made that. Now, sometimes it's really hard to distinguish a photograph that a person's made from AI art. So, impact to the arts industry, I see one massive impact, which is if you're someone that is going to employ an artist or commission them to make something, it's a lot cheaper to generate it. It's way cheaper, and it's probably way faster too. And it might not be as good quality, and that might be okay with you because you've saved a lot of money. You guys know the writers were striking in the US not too long ago. So one of the main issues in there was around writers being protected from AI being involved with generating scripts and stuff like that. It's an existential threat to writers. Now, if you're one of those groups that is generating content to use like that, there are a bunch of big risks. One of them is that those data sets they're trained on, sometimes the artists haven't provided their consent. So they're being trained on work that could be a copyright violation, and there are lawsuits happening in the United States right now where some authors have gotten together to, I think, sue the ChatGPT. Some nods going on. Thanks for being my fact checker. I like that. That's good. The other big risk is, and this is a big one, the US Copyright Office has ruled that you can't award copyright to something that AI generated. And as artists, that's really important to us. So there have been a number of test cases about that, and in the last couple of months in particular, and they've all come back saying AI can't be copyrighted. That's the legal stuff. What about authenticity? I don't think AI is going to replace the authenticity that we provide work as artists anytime soon. If I've got a poem about how I feel about you that I wrote with ChatGPT, or I've got a picture of my newborn baby that I rendered in Midjourney, it probably doesn't hit as hard as something that an artist made. I think I'm going to make a bit of a prediction, and you can come back next year and beat me up if I'm wrong. I think the real battleground is about not just AI and human work, but where they meet, where people have used AI as a tool and it's hard to pick the difference where one thing starts and another stops. And I'll give you an example. Let's say you have a singer and they're in the studio and they're laying down a vocal track and they're using all of the emotion and nuance of a human singing. That's their work, right? That's their artistic work. If an AI tool takes their voice in that recording and converts it into someone else's voice, how much of the singer is there? And how much of the AI is there? Where do you draw the line? I think that's where the battle's going to be. As artists, we could probably ignore this. We could hope that it gets legislated away. The genie is out of the bottle. This exists. It's not going anywhere. It's part of our fabric of life now. As artists and creators, we need to know that it exists. We need to know how it is used and how we can use it too. So I'm still working out how I feel about this stuff, to be honest. I'm comfortable using AI as a brainstorming partner. So much in the same way I'd have a conversation with a friend about ideas and throw ideas around to refine things, I use AI to help me with that stuff. I'm going to leave you with one last takeaway about AI, though, which is we're surrounded by all this amazing, this work, whether it's photography or music or video, and Out from the Mist is about, it's about communication, and it's about communicating that experience that we have as artists. And we're really lucky because if you're an artist in this room, you've got tools to communicate, and you can take how you feel and you can put it out into a form that other people can connect with. A lot of people don't have that. Generative AI actually gives people tools that might not have access to those to get their feelings out in a way that can be shared. And that's actually pretty positive. I want to say, to wrap up, congratulations to anyone who's entered. And I've got a challenge for anyone who's here looking at the work on the wall. As judges, the final stage that we go through, we have a conversation about the work where we talk about individual pieces, and how we feel when you enter that room and how you feel when you leave can be completely different. The stuff that you learn from talking to people about this work is really notable. I would encourage all of you, as you're looking at this, talk to the person next to you about what it means. Have a good night, everyone.
Thank you so much. So many great things to consider and think about when we're at home. Okay, we're up to the awards ceremony part now. Because there's three nominees in each category, or three winners, sorry, in each category, we might save our applause till the end. What have I done wrong now? Oh, I've left out a speaker. That's so rude of me, and it's a really good one too. I'd now like to welcome to the microphone Michael Lockwood, who's the creative director and founder of this competition. Please make him welcome. Thank you.
I expect your heart's kind of deflated when you heard be another speaker. I want to start with an apology to anyone here who has felt upset, disrupted, distressed by any of the photos we've got. This is the 5th year of Out from the Mist, and every year for this exhibition, and we've done another probably 30 or so exhibitions, for every one of those exhibitions we've had discussions about what to include and what to exclude. A couple of times we've excluded disturbing photos because the venue owner asked us to do so, but otherwise we've always included them. And I want to touch on why we do that. A bit of a warning, I've been getting ECT for quite some time on a really regular basis, and my memory's fucked. So if I sound like I've forgotten something halfway through what I was saying, then I've probably forgotten something halfway through what I was saying. But I do remember my childhood. I went through the Catholic education system, and there's a couple of things you learn pretty early on in the Catholic education system, at least back then. The first was that every second child was sexually molested by either a teacher or a religious brother, sometimes both. And the second thing was that the church has such beautiful art and music. And for a long time I could go, you know, what's going on here? You've got this beauty, this sensitivity, this greatness, and you've got this depravity. How could these two things coexist? You know, how did the sports teacher be buggering somebody in the locker room while the music teacher was going through Bach? You know, it's just like, it didn't make sense. And then over time, I guess I've realised that art can be a partial truth. It can tell the bits that won't upset anyone or offend anyone or embarrass anyone. And I think Catholic Church's art has done that. In fact, Pope Francis, I was reading this a few days ago, Pope Francis said there was a special relationship between the church and art. We used to say there was a special relationship between our sports teacher and the 12-year-olds. That was a kind of different one. And what he meant was that for centuries, the church has sponsored the arts. I mean, up until the Baroque period, if you wanted to be a musician or an artist, you really had to have the patronage of either a bishop or a really senior earl or whatever. And that still maintains. So I guess the relevance of what I'm saying, and I will be brief, the relevance of what I'm saying is that in this wealth of art, I don't think we can afford not to be sharing the stuff that is difficult, that is problematic, that it's even distressing at times. This stuff, behind there we've got the photograph that Tony referred to earlier. Mental illness is not a joke, which is the clown shooting himself through the head. We've got Pig Lady somewhere just there, which is a beast woman. So, I mean, the questions of suicide and body dysmorphia and self-harm and the other tragedies of mental illness, if we can't have the courage to put them on here, where else are they going to get at Guernsey? So, sorry if it upsets you, sorry if it distresses you, that's not the intent. But the intent is to honour the truth and honesty of these folk that had the guts to share their painful story. Now you can do the awards. Thank you.
That's so fantastic. And yeah, look at this. It's just amazing. That just brought back to me studying music. A lecturer who used to talk about art is an expression of a people of the times, but it depends who's telling the story. And that's what's so fabulous about tonight, of who's telling the story. Okay, so in third place in our music awards, Alan John Higginbottom from East Maitland, Australia, for his track Beautiful Life. Alan says his song is about life always being available in all its beauty, no matter what is thrown at you or how difficult it can get. So $500 cash will be going to you, John. Congratulations. In second place, we have Tessa Devine from Cairns, Australia, for her track Dancing in the Rain. I remember this one, it was beautiful. They all are. Tessa explained that her song is about being silenced and how that has affected her and others around her. So congratulations, $1,000 cash going to you. First place, I'll mention Judge Breezer said about this piece, I could really hear what was described, and it was so great to hear actual instruments, a very human chaos. The fact that this track was conducted by the artist partner is the icing on the cake. So the winner of the music category in 2023 is Juan Marco Albarracin from Brussels, Belgium. The Hague Revelation, My Own Hell. Juan has bipolar disorder, and in April 2014, while studying composition at The Hague, he was admitted to a psychiatric hospital in the Netherlands. He was consumed by paranoia. Meanwhile, he fell in love with Cornelia, his friend and colleague. Juan's composition teacher advised her to stay out of his life, but after Juan recovered, they ended up together. They now have a child, and Cornelia conducted this piece in 2022. $2,000 cash to you, Juan. Let's congratulate all the music winners. Well done. On to the Short Film Awards. In third place, we have Restoni A. Goyala from Quezon City, Philippines. Once More is a film moving from despair to hope. $500 cash will be going to you, Restoni. Laura Walters said, incredible energy of anxiety feels like it reflects really well the way that this sort of mental health condition is experienced. Love the happy ending, which gives hope and is surprising. The editing, the soundtrack is also great. Last year, his short film came third. This year, he has gone one better. Our second place entrant is Julius Neil Piala from Daewoo City, Philippines, for his film Mirasol. $1,000 cash will be going to Daewoo. Okay, we're up to number one. When viewing the winning entry, Judge Luke had this to say: I really loved the interplay between the visuals, music and sound design here. A smart and thoughtful concept delivered well. Another entrant who actually has gone one better in from their 2023, their film that placed second, this year, Lakshay Upadhyay, I'm going to get this right, Upadhyay from Mumbai, India, has taken out first place with his film Born a Glass, $2,000 cash. So that's the three, and also the three top short film entries were submitted to Australia Asia Film Group. In 2023, AusAsia executives chose Born a Glass as their 2023 winner. Born a Glass will be shared on AusAsia TV online network to an international audience. Let's congratulate all three winners. Okay, now on to the photography awards. Steve Parish was a big fan of the third place winner. Outright winner for me, he said. The image conveys the message without explanation. Troy Lum from Redcliffe, Australia. Mental health is no joke, is unambiguous, confronting, but speaking to a critical subject. So that'll be $500 cash to you, Troy. Congratulations. Chris Anderson felt this image was deceptively complex. There is balance and rotation, depth and contrast. Jens Braun from Skilgeck, Germany, has won second place with her image, Memento Mori Embryo. That's $1,000 will be going to you, Jens. Now for our first winner. Katie Kay felt this image was powerful and emotive, so simple, yet seemingly endless layers of meaning can be found the longer that you look at it. Nina Marie Thomas, San Remo, from Australia, is the 2023 photography winner for her image, Connection. Nina took this photo on the windowsill of a psychiatric hospital during one of her stays. The cigarettes in the image were smoked by the people who have shaped her recovery. $2,000 cash and full suite of products from Affinity Photos. Our top three winners will also receive an online photography masterclass with Steve Parish. Let's congratulate them all. Two more special awards left. We have the Affinity Awards. Out from the Mist would like to acknowledge some exceptional work created by the photography entrants. Each of these individuals will receive a 12-month software license to Affinity Photo. Anise Orzina, Carlo Island, for her set entitled Reverse Womb, which was rated as Steve Parish's best for its high impact. Gazelle Pezhekmi from here I go. My apologies to you listening, from Norway for her work entitled Insomnia. Katie Kay felt the work was masterful storytelling and image creation. These images are so evocative and full of depth and meaning. Livonne Larkins, Katoomba, Australia. Her 4 images entitled Shh uses the multiple elements of montage to share an insight into the panorama of her mind. Hannah Brooke, Melbourne, Australia. Her images called The Half of It are both powerful and memorable. Excellent technique applied in both in capture and production images. Finally, Ishara Henry, McKees Rocks, USA, for images entitled Bipolar in Technicolor. Ishara's photography is bright, strong and dynamic, conveying her experience of bipolar disorder. Please congratulate them all. Our last award, I'll just double check for the evening, the Sherry Brody Award, a new award. It's a new award for 2023. Sherry Brody entered Out from the Mist in 2022 Her work, Depression to Despair, being exhibited at the Gold Coast Awards night. Sherry sadly died from a burst aneurysm shortly after that exhibition. The Sherry Brodie Prize commemorates Sherry's life and artistry. In her life and her photography, Sherry consistently sought to overcome her complex post-traumatic stress disorder, drawing on her love for her children, for strength and hope. This strength and hope is captured in words Sherry used in commenting on her photo, Depression to Despair. So I get up again, and then I smile again, and then I hold onto the good feelings when they come back again. And I try to just rest during the bad feelings and moments in time. 3 entries were submitted to Sherry's daughter Ashley. They are photography, Alter Ego by Yoko Young of Detroit, USA, short film, Hope by Hector Vasilio of Athens, Greece, music, The Struggle by Nikki Carlson of Canberra, Australia. After reviewing all 3 entries, Ashley selected Yoko Young's entry entitled Alter Ego. I feel most connected to Yoko. It's most how Mum would describe herself. Congratulations to Yoko Young as the inaugural winner of the Sherry Brodie Award. That's $1,000 cash. Congratulations to you. Thank you so much for your attention this evening. Before we move on and mingle and catch up and have some nice time together and enjoy this beautiful display of work and on screen, we'd like to thank our sponsors. We've had some amazing sponsors who, without helping us, this would not happen. So thank you to Queensland Mental Health Commission, MIFA, Affinity Photos, Princess Pictures, Mica Projects, Mental Health Online, Profile Picture Frames and the Australia Asia Film Group. Thank you to the judges, the entrants of course, our honourable guests, the audience here and online for coming tonight. For those of you who are online, the winning short film entries will be played for you now. Guests here in person, we welcome you to continue viewing and listening to the finalists in the 2023 Out From The Mist competition. Please enjoy and thank you very much. Have a great night.
KQ サイナ銀行まあ人でこわかいいな何があったら全部が安ぎ戦ってああ嫌だとは言ったけど明日もう一軒やるいいかなあ う